Hi, good evening. I'd like to welcome you to Poem Praise 2. I do thank you for tuning in, and certainly peace and blessings be upon you and your family this evening. Now we're going to get right back into how to eat to live. Right now we're on chapter 46, which is do not need drugs if we live right. And it goes like this. This is one of the most important objects of our lives, how to eat to live. For Almighty God, Allah, in the person of Master Farad Muhammad, to whom praises are due forever, taught me that food keeps us here and food takes us away. So to regulate the food and drink is one of the important things of life. To eat one meal a day and nothing between meals is driving away a lot of the cure-all drugs. We do not need drugs if we live right. In the next life, or under the rule of God, there will be no such thing as drugs to keep and maintain life. Our enemies have resorted to drugs to prolong life, due to the fact that they do not want to accept the right way of God to prolong life over their commercial desire. Do you think doctors and drug scientists who go out and look up chemicals for drugs to sell to you want you to live without their profession, by which they are making their living? I should say not. To live without sickness is a very simple thing to do. Stop using the thing that makes you sick. We have been made so greedy it seems almost impossible for us to eat right and live a long life. But it is easy when you begin. To eat to live does not mean that you will have a menu of various foods. As long as you're armed from to choose. You can eat one or two foods if you are not able to buy a lot of different foods, which will not destroy your life, such as good bread and pure milk and dried beans. This is sufficient to keep you living 1,000 years. Of course, a balanced diet is fine. If in it you have plenty of garden vegetables which you can change your diet with or without eating that particular vegetable that will make you sick. But one of the main things to prolong your life is to not eat too frequently. Eat one meal a day. When you get used to eating one meal a day and feel that you can eat one meal every 2 days without too many hunger pangs, then do so. Eat the food that I have been warning you to eat in this article for a long time. Stay off hog flesh and essence. Do not say to me the white folks eat it and I don't see them dying so fast. Remember, all that God says, thou shalt not do. The white man says, thou shalt do. He is the breaker of divine law by nature and the greatest adversary of the divine supreme being, made by nature to do so. Eat to live and not to die, for food keeps you here and food takes you away. Eat one meal a day. Chapter 47. Doctor falls victim of same sickness. Eat one meal a day. Eat one meal every 2 days. Eat one meal every 3 days of whatever choice you take. It is going to help you if you eat the right foods. This people, the white race, who have been our teacher in everything for 400 years, did not teach us to eat right because they were not eating right themselves. And they, their children, and their doctors all live about the same span of life. The span of life between the doctor and his patient is the same. Having a long life is the way we tell whether or not we are taught right, in the way of prolonging our health. Lessen our sickness, the doctor falls victim to the same sickness and the same disease as his patients, and his span of life is the same as his patients. This professes beyond a shadow of a doubt that the doctor's teacher did not teach him right how to live. You may like me to mention something. The white race did not try to persuade the doctor against alcoholic drinks and eating the pig and other stale meats of the land and the food of the sea. He teaches him to eat all the scavenger life of the sea that Muslims are turning down, and the white man eats just the opposite of the way the righteous eat, to keep the righteous from saying that he follows us. This is why the white man does not like us thinking against him and his own will. But he must not do the same thing the righteous does. For the righteous will then tell him, you are supposed to rule and teach the world the way, for our way will teach you of your own self. Make a world of your own and do not follow ours to prove that you are good. And this he has done. Therefore he went out eating all the filth and taught you to eat it. And we who believe in his world and in his wisdom fell for it. This is why all the judgment is here. If the medical doctors and the theologian teachers and the scientists of chemicals are indulging and are not successful in expanding their own lives and what they are offering to us to eat and drink, then why should we follow their way of life? The chemical doctors go to the earth to get chemicals to heal themselves and us. These chemicals soon will destroy both. And their bodies were not made to be supported by chemicals for health and longevity. The fact is, the body of man was not to be drugged. The white man brought all this stuff on us because he was not going to be righteous. And he went to the earth to try to find a God for his belly in drugs and chemicals. Now this thing is catching up with him with what his own hands have produced. And they are willing to confess that these things are not good for us. They are turning down much of their medication, which is absolutely poison and detrimental to us. For it is prophesied in the Holy Quran that when the God of truth, freedom, justice, and equality comes, he will force his evil world to confess their evil. And this they are doing. And many of them are shocked over their own doings. All others are trying to teach you that their brother is wrong. I met a priest a few years ago, and he told me out of his own mouth that he knew they have mistreated us, and he hopes to do something about it. He looked very sick and very repentant. There are some white people who want to be good, but the essence that they are made of forces them to do otherwise. Therefore, the Bible warns us that a remnant of them will be saved. What we eat, as God taught me, keeps us here. And what we eat takes us away. So figure on what you will send down your throat, whether it will be something to keep you here or something to take you away. Some people love a lot of sweet and starchy food, We should eat a little of both, but never to indulge in too much of it. It will start sugar boiling in your blood. Sugar can be controlled. It is not such a disease that can't be controlled by your appetite. Just do not indulge in too much sugar. Eat a little bit. If you are a sugar diabetic, stay from sugar. For sugar will make you diabetic, and you will never know that you have it until you indulge in too much sugar and starchy foods. Eat more protein foods, and eat more fish, or that which water produces of life, other than scavengers of the water. We have scavengers out there in the water, and we have them on the land. Stay away from that kind of animal or life that lives on nothing but filth itself. And do not be a slave to your eating desires. Be the master of what you should eat, and do not allow the desire or hunger to be the master. Do you think the old patriots who lived 500, 600, 700, 800, 900, and nearly 1,000 years ate such filth? What do you think they ate? They did not eat your pig. They did not gobble down all kinds of meats and other foods 3 times a day. Some of them did not eat but 1 or 2 times a whole week. How do you think the people on Mars lived? I don't know, you will say. And they lived 1,200 of our Earth years. The Bible teaches us, and it is supposed to be from Jesus, that when God comes, He comes to bring you life and take away death and give you more of abundance, plenty. He cannot do it without regulating our eating habits. So this is the way to live a long time. Looking to see if we have enough time to do one more chapter, and we do. We're going to go into chapter 48, which is best preventive against death. It is possible for us to eat many things and we can keep existing for a while, but if you would like to live as long as you can live, we need the proper guidance in the way of teaching us the proper foods to eat to expand our life and keep it expanded. As you know, as I have repeatedly written in this book, that Allah taught me 1 meal a day. The right food will allow us to live a great long life, even to 140 years and more, if we eat it once every other day and every 3 days instead of 1 meal every day. We all are very hesitant in refraining from eating food for any length of time. Why? It is because we are born eating all the food that we can get in our stomachs within 1 day. There is no regularity in this way of eating. We eat whenever we see some food. We are like pigs. The pig eats all the time, so long as he sees food. And we are like chickens and other fowls and animals that eat all the time. Eating like this keeps our stomachs churning to try to digest the food that we put in it and to pass the food through to our intestines. This will soon wear the digestive juices of our stomach out, and we only live as long as the stomach is capable of digesting what we put in it. We suffer with all kinds of ailments of the body due to our ignorant way of eating. How many times have you heard people say when offered food, do not wait until you are hungry. Eat before you get hungry. This is a dangerous thing to follow, eating before you get hungry. I've heard many people, and you heard them say that they are eating just because they have not eaten in such a length of time. Or I missed my breakfast, or I missed my lunch. They're eating then, not because they are hungry, but they are eating because of the time they had set for themselves to eat. 3 meals a day within a short space of 8 or 10 hours could kill you at a very early age. All foods have a certain percentage of poison in it, and is, if allowed to be increased, in a very short while, then that keeps the body housing and storing up poison that it does not need to be housing, because we are making an addition to that already poison that is there. It makes sense. Sometimes this extra unwanted food by the body causes pain here and there, and we say that it's something else that is coming from. It is the big meal that you are eating 2 or 3 times within 8 or 10 hours, or within 12 hours at the longest. So we kill ourselves, as Allah tells me that there is no set time that we should die, like our old parents were taught that when the time comes for you to die, you will die regardless. Allah told me there is no set time for us to die. We kill ourselves, and that has been proven true. When we get a pain, we turn to the doctor for some drugs to stop it, or anything to stop the pain. If we had not found something to stop the pain, then maybe death would have come to us. But seeing and knowing that death comes in the absence of a preventive against death, we should try and use the best preventative, and that is to keep poison out of our bodies by abstaining from keeping our bodies stored with a lot of fresh food for it to digest. That does complete our 3 chapters for today. 47, 48, no, 46, 47, and 48. The next chapter we're going to be on is going to be chapter 49, which is entitled, Some Doctors Know. So I want you and your family to be blessed. Have a wonderful rest of the evening, and I will speak with you soon here on Palm Praise 2. Till next time, later y'all.